Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's Microsoft 365 ISV Showcase Collaboration Apps in Microsoft Teams. My name is David, and I'm going to be your moderator and host today. Today, we'd like to welcome Impulse to share how their Microsoft Teams app can equip your team with the right tools for remote collaboration. Joining us today are Mayak Singh, product head at Impulse, who will share how Impulse for Microsoft Teams allows users to participate in employee engagement activities from the convenience of their Teams app.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to this audience. I'm going to be talking about Impulse, which is an employee engagement and the rewards and recognition solution built and integrated directly with MS Teams. Let's get started. First of all, why should we even be concerned about talking about employee engagement to begin with? It's probably not a surprise to most of you. A very large part of your workforce today is disengaged, almost 70% as per studies done by Gallup across the world. And when we say disengaged, we mean there could be some people who are actively disengaged while some who are just passive, which leaves the remaining 30% who are just maybe actively engaged, right? Talking about disengaged employees themselves, they are typically dissatisfied and cynical. They criticize the organization and their own peers, and then negatively influence productivity. So not only are they not productive themselves, but they're influencing productivity negatively for the others around them as well. And while these are problems at an individual level, these cause bigger problems at the team and the organizational level. So at an individual level, there you would typically see higher attrition, higher absenteeism, and lower productivity, but which finally all of that results in lower operating income for your entire business and lower profits as well. So it's really a critical problem to solve for any modern workplace today. And if you just look at attrition, for example, as one of the costs that you are incurring because of this problem, you would be surprised to know that the actual cost of just backfilling for a regrettable turnover is 1.5 to 2 times of the annual salary of an individual. So assuming that you were hiring one of your star employees was at $50,000 US salary annually, just the cost of filling for them, both direct as well as indirect, could run up to $100,000 to $200,000 on an annual basis. So it's a really large problem to solve for, and which is where employee engagement solutions come in, using which you could possibly stop these problems from happening as bad a shape as it's happening today. What does a holistic employee engagement solution help you do, and what constitutes an ideal engagement solution? While you're choosing one, you have to make sure it caters to the specific needs of your organization, because every organization is different, has different problems, and has different sizes and of different kinds of employees and so on. And it needs to address the unique needs of all stakeholders. When I say that, I mean it has to cater to the unique needs of a line level employee, people managers, leadership, and so on. And then it also needs to ensure high participation rates, because you want to make sure that everybody is in this together. The way to build the right culture and highly performing teams is when everybody shoulders that responsibility and makes it work together. And finally, all of this has to work really well with your existing workplace technologies, whether you are on MS Teams or anything else. And so those are some of the biggest pieces that you need to keep an eye on when you're looking at a holistic employee engagement solution. Good thing is Impulse checks all of those boxes, and that is what we are going to be looking at today over our demo today. When we talk about Impulse, Impulse is primarily an employee engagement solution, which enables rewards and recognitions in a great way, and also helps you run surveys, etc., with your team. So you are constantly aware of what's working, what's not, and using that feedback to continue to improve. All of this is available directly within MS Teams, so your employees are able to get work done as well as participate in all of these initiatives directly within MS Teams without having to step out. When we later look at the demo directly, you would notice that you are able to run all of these programs directly within the team spaces that you have configured it in. Build a culture of appreciation through multiple types of recognition. It could be just direct peer-to-peer appreciation. It could be manager to a subordinate, or it could even be approval-based awards where you want to run through an approval process and then finally decide which of the few people would receive an award, etc. Once people or employees in your team have received an award, they can go on and exchange those points for monetary rewards from an online catalog. And going beyond that, you also have the ability to collect feedback, whether it's, again, peer-to-peer feedback or top-down, where you want to understand what's happening overall within the organization, maybe pulse it across time. All of those are simply possible through your Microsoft Teams interface. And as a result of which, because of the fact that you are able to do all of this within MS Teams, what we typically see is very high participation rates, where employees are directly taking charge of building the kind of culture at the workplace that they would like to be a part of. And that really makes the big difference. The biggest advantages of using Impulse in your organization is the fact that it's highly customizable. Like we said earlier, every organization is unique in its own way. You might have very specific needs based on what you want to do as an organization, what geographies you operate in, what your employees look like, and so on. And so you need something that's highly customizable that you can cater to based on those needs. Secondly, because Impulse is built in a way where it caters to multiple different personas and gives people the right information at the right time, depending on whether you're a people manager or a line level employee or someone from the leadership. You always have the right information at your fingertips to start taking action and building the right program. Because of the fact that Impulse closely integrates with Microsoft Teams and brings in a bunch of these solutions all together as a part of the same product. You don't have to juggle with multiple different solutions and spend time just making them work together. And hence the ability to control the overall experience, both for your admins as well as line level employees, is much nicer, and hence participation rates are high again, which results in a cost-effective and high ROI solution. At this point, I'd like to jump over and give you a quick glimpse of what Impulse looks like actually in action on MS Teams. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen for that. Installing Impulse is not a big challenge at all. All you need to do is jump into apps, search for Impulse in the marketplace. On this account, we already have it installed, but you could just simply click the button here to get a trial version of Impulse installed within your MS Teams workspace. Or you could simply buy a subscription if you think that the time is right. And all of this, you can manage a subscription directly within the MS Teams interface without having to step out at all. Once you have Impulse installed within Teams, you could go ahead and install it within the Teams app. In this case, we've created this section for or a team space called Appreciation Wall, in which you can possibly add all of your employees and then get started with appreciating them. One simple way to do that is just click on the Impulse team icon. In this scenario, I'm going to go ahead and appreciate Mary. And you have a bunch of ways in which you can configure different kinds of awards or core values against which you want to appreciate different people on your team. As you notice here, there's this extensive list. It's completely up to you as to how you want to configure it. Let's say I want to say Mary has done a good job at quality, and I wanted to appreciate her for that. So I'd go ahead and pick that as one of the things that I want to appreciate her with today. Moving on, I could add a small citations mentioning why I'm appreciating Mary with that. So there you go, I did that. And once I'm ready, and this is what the preview is going to look like, I'm going to hit the share appreciation button, and it's going to show up directly within the interface here. This was a simple example of how you would do peer-to-peer appreciation. You could also run approval-based nominations within the same interface. So you could just hit this button all over again. I want to give her another appreciation and nominate her for a different award. Let's say that's the Employee of the Year award, which or the Delivery Excellence award that I wanted to nominate her for. I would go ahead, add a nomination message or a justification for why I wanted to nominate Mary. Select or write a citation message, and then pick an approver from this list here, and then go ahead and post that nomination, and it'll work just as well. Right? So those are the couple of ways in which you could manage your rewards and recognition program. Something which is very simple, peer-to-peer, directly available, versus something which requires nomination workflows, etc. Once you've done this entire process, employees are also going to receive maybe rewards if you configure them that way into their own accounts, and they're able to see those rewards and their points balance directly within their personal chat interface with the Impulse app. There are a bunch of options here or commands that you could use to understand what you can possibly do. One of them is the redeem points options. So when you hit that, you are presented with the options to go ahead and redeem that from the curated catalog that's available for your account. Hitting the button would take you out to the catalog within the Impulse account itself, from where you can select from one of the multiple cards that are available. We are working towards making all of this experience directly available within MS Teams, so you don't even have to step out for redeeming your points. Similarly, you could look at all the different things that are awaiting your inputs directly on MS Teams itself. It could be things around, let's say, if you are a people manager and you needed to approve some nominations, all of those would show up here. If you needed to look at if there were other things around just appreciating someone else, a colleague on their or wishing someone on their birthday or anniversary, all of those would helpfully show up here as a nudge, and you could go take action on that. And that completes the demo today on MS Teams. I hope this was helpful for everyone.
Thank you, Mac, and thank you also to everyone online listening to us.